And hello, everyone. Welcome to Quoth Raven, Lewis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Lewis Bright Raven. We're over an hour late, we're an hour late. My apologies for everyone. I'm not quite awake yet. um, just overslept. Too much work on artwork, trying to get stuff ready for this weekend. But before we get any further than that, let's just go through our normal routine. In accordance with the new COPPA regulations, this episode of Quoth Raven is intended for ages 16 and up. While some of the content we will feature is kid-friendly, the context of the issue is to address adults, inform them of said content, for them to research as consumers in the service of the youth. In other words, parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, teachers, librarians, etc. There is the possibility of adult language present on the episode as well, rated TV 16 and up. And this weekend, I will be appearing at the Gamers Gathering Place, located at 1597 Broad River Road, Columbia, South Carolina, in the Boozer Shopping Center. I will have original artworks, prints, and sketchbooks for sale during the store appearance. So please come join the festivities. It'll be this Saturday, December 12th, 2020, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And John says hello. Hey, John. Bet you kind of wonder what happened to me. You might be the only one, but yeah, that's the way it is. I'm just really wiped out this week and got too much going on, too much work. I posted on my Facebook some of the artwork I had done earlier today. That was a commissioned piece of Jiren versus Ultra Instinct Goku from Dragon Ball Z. So that was part of what I was doing. That got me a little bit out of it. I went to bed to lay down, and I remember getting up at like 6:45, and next thing I know, it's 10 o'clock. So I was like, great. Nobody's happy with me right now. But let's go ahead and get to our questions. Our first question of the day is, how come your rants are almost always directed at other podcasters' videos? It seems to me that most of their channels actually get viewers, so maybe you're just jealous. I mean, that's my take on things. From Jake. Well, Jake, the fact is I wouldn't even bother mentioning those people. John says, I saw that Jiren Goku piece. It was cool. I'll probably show it to everyone in a little bit, John, but it's behind the screen. But at the moment, right? But to answer Jake's comment, not so much a question, I wouldn't even bring most of those people up, but what happens is people will come to me and go, did you see this? And, what's your take on what they say and everything? And the reason I rant at a lot of them is because it's such negative content. It's basically people bitching and complaining. And I'm tired of it. And effective immediately, I'm not accepting those kind of emails or contacts anymore. I'm not giving them any more of my time. I don't care what they have to say. I'm just tired of their hatred and their vitriol. It's nice that they can crap out videos every day to complain about whatever. But, and if that's what people want, is people complaining about whatever, if that's what it takes to get hits, then I don't know. I'm just going to do my thing, okay? Next question. Santos Rodriguez from Illinois asks, what do you think of the forthcoming titles from DC post-Future State that have been announced? Most of them I haven't really thought that much about. None of the creative teams for most of them really interest me. I might try the Green Lantern book. I might not. and I know that's one of the more controversial ones, um, because of course the media has to drag up that the writer Jeff Thorne doesn't like Hal Jordan as a character, so they're making a big um, stink about it, trying to get him fired off the book. I guess it's just whatever. But that's the only book that even remotely interests me uh, from the new lineup. So there you go. Next question. Anonymous asks, are you really supportive of creators like Mariko Tamaki and Jeffrey Thorne? Because it seems to me that they're troubled writers who just want to put their own neuroses upon the characters. As if that's not what all the writers do at Marvel and DC, put their own neuroses and their own mentalities over the characters, and that's part of why the books suck. If you want to play that card, it's not so much that I'm defending these writers. I'm saying I understand why they've been selected for their assignments in some cases. I'm not sure why Mariko Tamaki's been given the Batman character all of a sudden. Jeff is not who I would have picked to write Green Lantern. There's other things I would have Jeff doing. In fact, I don't like any of the stuff that Jeff's doing at DC right now, particularly. But, just because it's not something I would have him do doesn't mean it's not going to be decent work. It doesn't mean that I don't think he's a good writer or anything. It just, there's other projects I have him doing instead. That's all. In fact, he'd probably be at Marvel doing Avengers if it was up to me, but that's my take on that. But I'm not defending any of them. I'm just, I guess I'm giving a different perspective from all the haters out there when I talk about them more than anything else. Next question. Angela asks, if comics were still $1 to $1.50 per issue instead of $3.99 to $5.99 per issue, do you think you and other fans would be more tolerant of the comics being produced and that there wouldn't be so much negativity in the fandom? Well, Angela, that's a good question. Realistically, no. I don't think it would make a difference. Because when comics, we started showing this negativity in the 90s, and that's what the prices were. We're in a $1 to $150 range. Bad stories are bad stories. And, when you have a lot of that going on and people aren't happy with the characters and the direction of the characters, they're going to complain. It's just that it's gotten more vociferous and more pronounced because of technology. We get to see it constantly through social media, whereas before we only heard it from like scant few people coming in and out of the comic shop back 30 years ago. You didn't realize how many people were dissatisfied. And even then, or even now, I should say, even though everybody's complaining, you have to wonder if they're really that dissatisfied because they still continue to buy the product, even though it's vastly overpriced. And, I just, for me, we've seen people talking about stuff recently is this now the time for a jumping off point because we don't like any of the new writers for DC? And I'm like, no, the perfect jumping off point was when they did Nightfall and Death of Superman. Where have you been in the last 30 years? Why do you keep buying books? If you're going to play that, do that little song and dance that, there's nothing worth reading. I'm not saying there wouldn't be any additional tolerance level. I think people's tolerance level would be there. But I also think, based on my own experience, since I cut most all of my DC and Marvels in the 90s, I used to buy everything that they published. I was down to a handful by mid 90s. Um, I can't even remember what books I was reading from DC at the time um, in the 90s before I quit cold turkey for a while. I think Wonder Woman Up to Burn would have been around 96 or 97. Um, yeah, there was a good 2 or 3 year period after that where I didn't buy any Marvel or any DC rather until like the JSA release from Goyer and Johns as writers. So, that was kind of the thing there. So I think that's truthful for everybody in that respect. Next question, if we have one. I think that's the last question for today. It is. So if you have questions, email them to quotetherave72@gmail.com. Subject, Quote the Raven questions or QTR questions. Please indicate whether or not you want your name and locale read on air. If my eyes and face are wandering around a little bit today, my eyes are really light sensitive tonight from lack of sleep or getting up from the sleep I just had. And I'm trying to get a good angle so my eyes will open up. That's better. Yeah, I had the one reflective light that you guys usually see. It was really coming in. John Norris says, it seems to me that the perfect jumping off point for a book is when you consistently no longer get any enjoyment out of the book. Exactly. It's just, people just have their attitude that, they don't want to try anything new. They want things to be what they were when they liked it. And people don't understand that the directions of the creators and their taste change, your taste change as a reader, and it's okay to walk away. They have this attitude, I gotta keep reading, I gotta keep the collection going, and you don't. So I think that's part of the brokenness of our system. But oh wow. Just a second. I'm still here. I'm just gonna turn the camera off for just a second. Nope, that didn't. I mean, it helped, but it didn't help because now it's reflecting off the other. It's just the light some more. I can. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Okay. There wasn't enough light without the other light, but I needed it adjusted, so it's still reflecting off that darn other. But let's see if I can adjust it. Just a little. No, it's not going to work. Okay, that's the way it is. We'll deal with it. Anyway, yeah. The jumping off points is like I say is whenever you're not happy with it anymore. So, I guess people feel like when you jump off, you can't ever get back on the train again or something like that. And I've left and come back to books over the years, multiple times. So, it's not like I got to go back and get the rest of the books I missed to have my complete collection. I'm not that way. I got the products that I like, and it's like the whole completest thing. What for? I mean, I get it. I've had a complete run of certain things for a certain period of time, but I guess let me think here. I'm trying to find a way to phrase this. Um, when we stop buying something and then it's like a complete run to a certain point. That's why I kind of do things from like a year to year perspective when I collect, and when I stop, I might stop at 25 or 50, so I have a complete run to a certain point. That's kind of why I collect the way I do in that respect. But also, maybe because I'm from the era where you got comics off the newsstand and you didn't always have access all the time. You might miss an issue, or you might an issue might sell out before you can get to it, or whatever. I came to the point where the point of back issue hunting was for stuff that you wanted to actually read, rather than say, "Oh, I got to get these to fill my holes in my collection." So I don't know, but yeah, I agree with you on that, John. So let's go ahead and get on with our show. Which today is rather short, actually. We're going to talk about previews, because I forgot to do that last week when John was our guest host. This is this month's previews, December 2020. That's a nice cover on it by, one of the covers here, by Stanley R. Germ Lau. And I think that's who that's supposed to be. Yes. And I kind of like the cover of this. I'm not going to get the book. I'm not that interested in Blade Runner anymore, but I do like the cover. And for those people who haven't seen the character before, let me see if I can share it or not. Come on. I don't know if it'll let me do it or not, but I'm going to try. It doesn't seem to be sharing it. Or is it? I can't tell. Well, here we go. Try it again here. Being very fussy with me today. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be sharing it. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Anyway, the female on this cover looks like one of my characters. That's kind of why I like the cover. But anyway, I'll have to see if I can share that some other time. Actually, I can share it. Just give me a second. There we go. There's a character. You kind of see the passing resemblance there. I could see. So that's why I thought the cover was cool this month. But other than that, not too much of a spectacular thing there. The other flip cover is Radiant Black from Image. I don't know. When it's not an actual screen and wants to share something off the computer, the share screen doesn't always work right on StreamYard. I don't know why. And I can't see it being shared, so I can't tell if it shows up. Very annoying. But anyway, let's go ahead and go through this bad boy. From Image Comics, there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, there's that Radiant Black that didn't really appeal to me. Yeah, doesn't want to get to the page. Keep going. Here we go. There's nothing bad with it, mind you. It might appeal to fans. They're trying to sell it to fans of the Invincible storyline. Or Invincible series. It's written by Kyle Higgins and drawn by Marcelo Acosta. I don't really want to read it because it's about a guy who's basically a drunk, at the first bit of the story, and he comes across kind of a black hole portal or something, and he reaches out and he becomes a superhero, more or less. I'm just, okay, whatever. Not my thing, but some people might like that. A book that I think John might like, which is Stray Dogs. It's kind of got that Disney-esque type animal storytelling going on. And, whoops. That's by Tony Fleeks and Tris Forstner. And, it's basically, kind of like a Disney tale. Sophie Kitten, what happened? She doesn't know how she ended up in the house. She doesn't recognize any of these other dogs. She knows that something terrible has happened, but she can't recall what. Where's her lady, meaning her owner, I guess. It's a 5-issue miniseries, suspense thriller. So the dog's trying to figure out, what happened to her owner, who is either mysteriously injured or maybe even died, and now they've taken the dog and put her with other dogs to be taken care of in the meantime, and there's some more of the interior. It says a Don Bluth Disney type stuff going on there, and I think that might be interesting for people who like that kind of animated animal storytelling. I think that'll be pretty cool for them. One of the books I'm going to get from Image out of the catalog is called Deep Beyond. It's a 12-issue series. That's science fiction. And we've seen this kind of storytelling before. They're in an underwater facility, and some sort of alien or underwater creature has gotten in and is going to destroy the whole thing, and humans have to try and survive. So, it's not like it's the most original concept. It just happened to catch my eye visually. I wanted to see how it turns out. Stray Dog sounds interesting, John says. The art looks nice. Cool. Mm-hmm. Here's some more of the artwork from Deep Beyond. Okay, there's a few other things from Image. I think I'm going to get Homesick Pilots. I'm supposed to be interested in this other book that they've mentioned. I don't know. It's called Two Moons. It's about an Indian Native American named Two Moons who fights for the Union during the Civil War. And, they fight monsters. I don't know if it's really my thing. I might look at it. He's a Pawnee Indian, so we'll see. You know, I'm not against it. It's not exactly something that immediately sold to me. Another interesting thing was Eric Larson of Savage Dragon Fan is putting out facsimile editions of his comics from when he was a kid, before he became a professional, called Graphic Fantasy 1 and 2. When he was emulating more of a John Byrne look. I don't know if I can get a good enough, close enough look. I'm trying to. There you can see it's very John Byrne-ish when he was, and looks nothing like Eric's art today. But it's interesting. So if you're, well, look at that. Those are kind of expensive, though. I think. I mean, they're not, but they're $10 a book. But I think they're larger. Yeah, they're 72 pages, and they're black and white because he's doing the stories that he did back in, like 81 or 82. So that tells you how old the art is. So if you're into the history of stuff and you happen to like Larson's work from back in the day or something, might be interesting for you to check that out. Not a whole lot of anything else that I can remember off the top of my head from Image. I think I'm getting Homesick Pilots, which I've mentioned before, and number 3 comes out this month, so yeah, I'm still getting that because number 1 hasn't even reached the stores yet. We're still pre-ordering stage. I guess I can show you the current Savage Dragon to show you how much different Larson's art looks now. As you can see, it's much different than what that early Dragon stuff looks like. So Dark Horse is our next company. People are asking me, why I don't talk about Hellboy anymore. There's always new Hellboy material out. I'm kind of burned out on Hellboy, but I wouldn't knock any of the Hellboy material. So if someone's old enough for it and you think that that's something that they might like, I don't necessarily see a problem with Hellboy. I don't know if the young Hellboy miniseries is coming out. I'll see if it has a page on there. So here we go. It's a 4-issue miniseries with Craig Rousseau of Perhapanauts fame. It's his new book. It's probably for all ages. It's a 4-issue miniseries. And if it's not for all ages, then it's like probably 10 and up or 12 and up. It's not the mature reader stuff, I don't think, that I would consider most Hellboy comics to be. And of course, we all like Craig here, Quoth the Raven. So, I'll probably take a look at it, but I'm pretty much burned out on Hellboy, so I don't think I'll get it. Things I will get, however, include Norse Mythology, number 5, from Neil Gaiman and P. Craig Russell. And Resident Alien Your Rights, here number 4 of 6. And if you'll notice, it has a trade paperback already pre-offered. I think that Dark Horse needs to wait on that a little bit. I mean, we got 2 more issues. I mean, if you're I guess you're doing it so that the trade comes out the same time as the last issue of the miniseries, which is kind of dumb in a way. But then again, I guess they're trying to get everything done because the new Resident Alien TV show premieres on Sci-Fi next month. So maybe that's why they're trying to get everybody to order it now, so that when people come in for it, off the sci-fi interest, they'll say, "Oh, it's coming out. The new book, the new trades are going to be available." Plus, retailers can get the trades that have already been made in back order. So that's probably why they're doing it and offering it now while the iron is hot, so to speak. John says, "Young Hellboy done by Rousseau looks cool." Yeah, well, I think that's just Craig's work in general. I mean, whatever Craig's on usually looks pretty cool. Don't know if there was much of anything else. Oh yes, there was. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about this artist before, Matt Wisniewski. He did the book called The Freak. It was a black and white book about the really tall guy that walked around as a grave digger shovel, and then got beat up, and then he went on a rampage and beat everybody else up. That was several months ago, but this is his new book. It's called Static. And it's about a guy being tracked by violent gang and drug dealers. He's a muscle for hire who hunts creatures. So he kind of looks like Frankenstein or whatever, and I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. This is kind of his Maslowski's thing, so I'll give it a shot. So that's something I'm be ordering. I don't understand why Dark Horse gets to reprint some of the Usagi Yojimbo stuff when IDW has the license for the current stuff. It's kind of weird how that goes, and I need to reach out to Stan Sakai and find out what the deal is about that. It's kind of odd to have your license spread between two rival companies like that. Well, the next book is IDW companies, and I've talked about this book in the past. It's been resolicited, I think, called Chained to the Grave. And it's basically about an outlaw who was chained to his headstone, and he's buried. And he's buried alive, and he has to dig himself out and then chase out the outlaws who are going to kill his family if he doesn't stop them. So that's kind of cool. I was kind of interested in that. It's written by Brian Level, who's known for Darth Vader, Thanos, and Deadpool. And it's artist Kate Sheeran, who's worked on Invader Zim and The Amazing World of Gumball. And, I look at this, and you wouldn't think that those kind of artworks would really translate into this. But, that's kind of my point with art these days. People get to know you for one thing, and then they only want to think that you can do one style. And that certainly is not art style that you would think would go with Invader Zim or the World of Gumball. But real artists can do all kinds of different art styles. I have already reviewed some of this in the past. The Judge Dredd False Witness. I've been getting it in singles. It will now be available in trade by Brandon Easton what's his name? Keizama. I wanted to make sure I pronounced it right. And it's interesting story so far. You might be interested in it. You might not, based on your reviews. I would suggest you go back and watch the past episodes, look for that, and get an idea of whether or not you'd be interested based off of that. We have a Mexican creator called Edgar Camacho, called Onion Skin. It's about his stories as a Mexican artist with a food truck. Uh, Oops. It's a $15 book for 160 pages, and it's kind of a slice of life type thing in a way, but yet it's meant to be both humor and it won Mexico's first ever Young Graphic Novel Award, so it should be pretty cool stuff like that. So it should be really interesting to see what goes on with that storyline or with that series. I'll be looking for that. Might not pre-order it, but I will look for it. I'm trying to get to the next stuff here. Of course, you got the Usagi stuff. And again, here's IDW. They got 3 books. They've got regular Usagi, Wanderer's Road, and then Homecoming, which is a collection, which was, I believe, the reprint of one of the more recent arcs. But it's kind of weird that IDW is the primary right now, and Dark Horse is like printing a classic or something, reprinting classics. Just a kind of an odd situation, in my opinion. I probably would understand it if it was explained, but we're going to pass through Dynamite. There wasn't anything by Dynamite. I mean, there's interesting artwork at Dynamite, but overall, it's not anything I would buy. Luna by Maria Levitt has this interesting look, but I don't think storyline. I think if you see it in the store, check it out and see if the storyline grabs you. But mainly the art was the only thing that caught my attention on that. A good I don't know. Let me take my glasses off here for a second. If you like Scooby-Doo, you might like Spectre and Spectres. It's kind of like a modern day Scooby-Doo type stuff. Probably a little bit more mature reader than standard Scooby-Doo. But it's along that same line, a group of friends hunting ghosts and stuff like that. Whether or not they're going to be real ghosts or be men in suits, we'll have to see. Here's some more of the artwork from that. I don't know if I like the full splash page. The railing over here looks a little bit too short from my perspective. It just seems like it's just too short, and that it should be taller to be more effective as a railing to me. I don't know. Yeah, I know it's a different camera angle and stuff, so it just I don't know. It just seems like it's a little bit off perspective there. But then again, it might be off perspective because if you start really looking at it, a lot of things in this are off perspective in different ways. A little bit off kilter in the picture. So that might be a visual intent of the artist. So there's a fantasy comedy book for people who like Critical Role and Adventure Time and stuff like that. It's called Orcs. It's about it's about a group of orc people who go about doing their thing. And it's supposed to be comedy, and it might be interesting to look at if you're into that sort of thing. I'm still getting Origins. Number 4 comes out this month, or is solicited for this out of this catalog. We only find them when they're dead storyline that I was reviewing. A lot of people have been asking me about that and if I still like it or whatever. The first volume is coming out in this catalog. I don't know. It's probably worth the $10. It's for the 100 for 6 issues worth. It's probably worth $10 to find out for yourself if you like it. I'm kind of nonplussed about it, indifferent about it. It's taking too long for a story to get going to me. When 6 issues could probably be done in about 20 minutes to 40 minutes of a film time, it's taking too long. So I'm still, I'll probably get through that arc, but that's probably when I'm going to stop. An amusing situation. I don't know why people are doing this, but Ablaze is producing a comic book about the Great Gatsby, and I'm kind of like, really? I mean, I suppose there's an audience for it, but I would think the audience would be more of an educational. You sell them to schools, not to comic shops. I just don't see where people would necessarily want to read that story just to read that story. I don't know. Kind of a odd subject, in my opinion, but okay, There, Aftershock's got quite a bit of new stuff coming out, but unfortunately, none of it's really grabbed my attention enough to share. I'm still getting Kaiju Score, We Live, and Sympathy for No Devils. When those story arcs reach their conclusion, I will probably be done with them. If you happen to see the advertisement solicitation for Blood Force Trauma number 3, it is not coming out from Albatross. They didn't even release the first issue. They canceled it. I've mentioned that before. I still haven't heard from Jake Smith about what the deal was about that. I wish he would tell. Wish he would come and talk to me about it, but it is what it is. Maybe they're still trying to negotiate something. Who knows? Not a whole lot in the back of the book this month for me. Just got to get to it. We have Mad Cave Studios, who's got quite a bit of stuff, actually. They got 3 books. Lost and Lost is here, and he says, say what you want, but I want a Great Gatsby drawn by Jim Lee. Interesting. If that means Jim Lee's gone from DC forever, yes! I would put him on it if that meant we got rid of him for good from DC. But other than that, Stargazer They Fell from the Sky #1 and Villainous #5. Stargazer is also #5. I believe the Villainous that's the last issue, and Stargazer has one more to go. I think, or is that the last? Yeah, they're the last issues of Stargazer and Villainous. I've been reading those regularly, and They Fell from the Sky is kind of a typical. Um, you know, odd kid meets an alien creature that's crash landed on Earth, and they make up a friendship. So, as far as the concept, it's not necessarily the most interesting or unique idea, but I don't know if you can see the art well enough. The art just kind of grabbed me with the alien there, the alien in their little spacesuit, kind of caught my attention. So I'm gonna get those. I'm gonna get Wallach, The Great Journey, because I've gotten the first Wallach book. It's written by Emilio Ruiz, drawn by Ana Morales. So when I get this in, I'll probably re-review the first Wallach with it and do it as a 2-book set. Because I really did enjoy the first book. It's about a little polar bear who loses his mom, and then he befriends another polar bear and rescues him from trappers, and this is them going on another adventure together. Whoops, I must have missed something here. Or did I? No, you didn't. Okay. The only thing from Oni/Lion Forge I'm getting is Dryad #9. If you were following Backtrack, which I've been reviewing regularly, the new trade volume 2, is also available this month. So if you're getting that in trade, you might want to pre-order that. Not a whole lot else coming from out of there that really grabbed my attention. Here's another kind of history thing. This is, it's one thing when you do it as that's your whole company's thing. Like Portable Press has a storyline on George Washington and Sacagawea. Okay, that's your whole shtick as a publisher. It's fine, but when you're doing Conan Barbarian and other stuff that has nothing to do with history, then you do kind of a historical fiction piece like Great Gatsby. It was kind of weird. But again, that kind of stuff I think is more geared towards marketing to educational purposes, which there's nothing wrong with including that in the comic shop, but I don't think a whole lot of retailers are going to necessarily support it, which is a shame in a way. I will say I like the cover for the Mandrake the Magician trade with the new female Mandrake character, but it's not enough for me to say I want a copy, unfortunately. And again, for John, we have the Perhapanot's First Blood. That's the trade collection of the current storyline. We'll collect all four issues plus 10 additional pages of all new material for $20. So you might want to get that pre-ordered from Scout Comics. I'm also getting a map maker from Scout from their children's imprint Scoot. The map maker, there we go. Try to get it where you guys can see it. It's kind of like a medieval fantasy type storyline. Parallel Earth, and imagine Pirates of the Caribbean meets Lord of the Rings type thing. Um, I'm going to be interested to see what that's about, and it's only $1.99, so I'll give it a shot. We reviewed Ginseng Roots before by Craig Thompson. I'll be getting the next issue of that. Sorry, my fan's going pages left and right here. I'm trying to get to the right pages for you. Yeah. So, I'll be getting Ginseng Roots number 8. I think that is. Yes, number 8. Vault's got some of their stuff that's interesting. Still getting Inge Ward and Resonant. I love the Resonant cover this month. It's kind of got like a variation on a visual of a sea dog. It's like a little, I don't know if it's a dog that's swimming, naturally, or if it's like a blended of because the paws look like they could be webbed flippers too. And as you can see, there's sharks in the ocean. So it's like the dog's dragging something, and it's kind of I just want to see what that is, So that'll be interesting. So I'll get that, and I'm going to go ahead and get the complete series collection of Bleed Them Dry, which is a vampire tale. Pretty generic, I guess you could say, as far as the concept, because vampires have been done before plenty. It's a future storyline, 33 Earth, and he's basically a vampire bounty hunter type character. So again, nothing too unique, but I'll give it a shot. What the heck, And the only other thing that I really grabbed my attention in the catalog this month, when I can get to it, is there's a couple of Swamp Thing t-shirts. And I'm getting the primary one. Well, not the black. Actually, the black one is what they consider the primary. I'm getting the one with the green shirt there with Swampy on there. Classic Bernie Wrightson artwork. I hope DC has the class to give his wife a cut on that. But they probably won't. The only reason they're releasing it is because Bernie's dead and they don't have to pay him a royalty because he's dead or some nonsense. That kind of shirt should have been out years and years ago. It's a shame it wasn't. They wait until after he's gone to put it out. But that's typical corporate mentality. But I want it, so I'll get it. And that really is everything I saw in previews this month. Now, that doesn't mean that Marvel and DC didn't have anything. It's just that we were talking a little bit about what the DC stuff was. That was kind of what was, I told you I didn't see anything other than that Green Lantern book. That's supposed to be what's coming out around the same time. And I believe, let's see, this is released for February. For February. So it'll be around the same time. And Marvel just never really appeals, I'm sorry to say. So that's our previews. And that's pretty much the show for tonight because I'm really, really busy this week due to that store appearance, which I'll mention again. And that's at the Gamers Gathering Place. on 1597 Broad River Road, Columbia, South Carolina, in the Boozer Shopping Center. I told John and anybody else who might watch this later I was going to show that original artwork. That this is the commission that oops, I'm trying to get so that you don't have a bunch of reflection on there off the screen. But Jiru versus Ultimate Instinct Goku. And that was commissioned from one of the gentlemen that will be there. And so this isn't for sale. This is already sold. But I will have trading cards and other artwork available at the show. Let's see, what are we going to have? We'll have artwork like this. Sorry about the reflection again. Nightcrawler. There. You can see it better now. You probably remember seeing this pirate. I decided to color him. He was in black and white for a while. You may have seen some of the full page previews before I cut them into cards. And there's other stuff I've drawn as well this week, so I'm keeping myself busy. And that's part of why I fell asleep, was I was working too much today. And when I went to, I took a nap. Like I said, I got up at 6:45, and next thing I know, it was 10 o'clock. So not good. I'm amazed my cat didn't decide to attack me, but I guess my father fed him. So anyway. Need to get going, folks. It's because I haven't eaten dinner, and I don't know if my dad's going to want to eat dinner if he didn't cook for himself, or get something to eat. So I want to thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week. We'll do kind of another short episode, probably. It's just been kind of crazy episode, probably. Sorry, I'm just trying to get things figured out here on my page. Oh, yeah, okay. Anyway, back to the appearance. That'll be this Saturday on December 12th from 3 to 7 p.m. So if you want to reach me on Facebook, Lewis.BrightRaven, on Twitter at LewisBrightRave2, deviantart.com/BrightRaven at DeviantArt, on YouTube at Quoth Raven, Lewis BrightRaven. Gmail is QuothTheRaven, LBRSmith2 at gmail.com, and Yahoo Mail is LewisBrightRaven at yahoo.com. Podcast is supposed to air normally at Thursdays at 9 p.m. So we'll catch you next time, and we'll see you probably maybe on Monday for a live draw, but not this weekend because I got the show, but maybe on Monday for a live draw. Until then, have a good weekend and stay safe.